Multi-laminate guitars. Let's go build some junk. Alright, you got a little cheated yesterday, but it's not my fault. I'm not the one that sat there with a dead battery. I'm not the one that had to chore. So I couldn't wait for you. I had to get moving. I still have so many question marks in this project. There are a lot of things I don't know exactly how they're going to go. I don't know if what I got in my head is exactly what we're going to do. This tends to happen a lot, where initial ideas or even plans, just get totally turned upside down. And, you have this floundering period where nothing's really solid, and then suddenly you find the direction and then it goes. So I'm kind of, used to that scenario. And we're still very much in the floundering phase. However, okay, with that quilted top, my initial thought was nuclear burst. And I got some ideas on how we're going to try to accomplish that. I'm thinking, instead of doing the initial darkening of end grain with just black, I'm thinking of doing that a burst from black to a dark red. Once that's all sanded back, then dark red to yellow on top of that. I think that will give us a really cool effect. However, in trying to think of all the possible things we could do with that material, I had thought about maybe a blue to natural or whitish, and I also couldn't help but think yellow and green, because I know how sexy that can be. But alright, and then I realized I've got some red heart left, and one of the prettiest necks I ever made was red heart rails, walnut runners, maple core. So I thought, part of this came from looking at all the wood that I had, laying around, and I've got a couple good chunks of bloodwood, and I was thinking initially, some bloodwood on the back, maybe even a bloodwood fretboard. I don't know. But all of these things said red, so I guess we're going with red. The plan, at least at the moment, and we're kind of committed now, is headless set neck, both of which I've never done before. Headless is not a big deal, I'm fairly certain. Set neck, I've just never done it before, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure we can do that. You watched me build necks before, most likely, so you know the deal. Kind of like the last time, alright, we cut 2 strips of red heart and 1 strip of maple and 1 strip of walnut, and then resawed it. So it's rough and it's thick. So before we're done, we're going to run these through the thickness planer and pull this walnut down to pretty thin. And we're also going to taper that maple core, so then it'll get all tight and sexy. Although I'm planning headless, it's not really going to be headless. What I'm thinking about is something kind of like that. I still want, some little ears just so you can hang the damn thing. So anyway, while you were busy charging, I went ahead and glued up our rails and runners. At the current state that we are, these are nice, and the rails are nice and flat. So these are ready and, to thickness walnut down. And I think that is a lot safer and cleaner than trying to, thickness those by themselves and then glue them on. So, so effectively, our 7-piece neck is 3 pieces now. I was thinking about trying to plane the taper into this, and I still might, but I think we're gonna just go taper it the way we normally would. I think. Anyway, in the meantime, I was thinking, I've never worked with this Headless hardware before. I don't know how tall the bridge pieces are. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to need some kind of slope or anything for the little head pieces. I need to see how they're gonna look. So I just took a flat piece of maple and I put a 1/4 inch piece of maple on top of that will simulate a fretboard. We can put a couple frets in here, including a 0 fret. Mount some headpiece, well, 1 or more head pieces, and the bridge pieces on here. And the way that thing's set up, the string can be any length we want, so we can set up a little test neck and see how that hardware is going to fit stuff. So I just glued this up a little bit ago. We'll probably radius this just cause, so we can, test, a couple different places and see how everything looks. But at the moment, next step here is thickness planer. Yeah. Alright, we cut the 1/8 inch taper on one side, now the 1/4 inch taper on the other. So heavy. 1/8 on each side. Alright, we still got a lot of unanswered questions. However, I'm pretty certain I know how thick the neck is actually going to be. So, I think this time, just for fun, just because we can, I'm going to put a couple registration holes through this whole blank for a 1/4 inch dowel that will get cut away when we profile. Just to make the glue up, easy. I think that's what we're gonna do. Wahoo! We got everything together, drew our profile so we know what it's going to look like, and we have loads of room. So everything is good. There's no point in waiting. So, I think we'll glue it up. Got it all. No muss, fuss. Maybe back here next weekend. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time.